What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're here to bring you guys a semi-showcase video for Komurasaki 6+. And I know Komurasaki 6+ has actually been out for a little bit now, but I never really got an opportunity to talk about this unit in a video dedicated to this character, and we're going to be doing that today. This character's Super Evolution is actually really good, and the thing about it is Komurasaki was already an exceptional unit in my opinion. There really wasn't too much about the unit that needed to be fixed. And of course, she's the type of unit that has a captain ability that isn't the best in terms of the multipliers that it provides, but it's a good unit overall. So let's talk about the unit before we actually get into the video today. Let's have a look at the ink effect. Honestly, ink effect is actually really nice, but I don't really know why they decided to go for this particular artwork. I think it would have been awesome if it super evolved into Hiyori rather than Komurasaki just getting KO'd. But either way, Komurasaki, let's go ahead and break her down. Now, obviously, the biggest change to this unit was the fact that she was previously a quick character, and she super evolves to an int character. She's an int cerebral slasher, so really good color, really good classes already off the bat. Captain effect would boost quick and int by 4.25, making quick and int beneficial to those characters as well, and then heals the crew by 0.5 her recovery for every perfect that you hit and give you 20% damage reduction. And also you can use her as a captain to give you increased berries at the end of the quest. Not really too important, but overall it's a pretty simple effect, but there's lots of really good things going on here. If you do limit break expand this character, it will just make quick and int slots appear more often. That's the only change, so definitely not worth limit break expanding unless if like this is your favorite character in the game, and there's definitely people out there that are like that. But overall, the captain ability is relatively good in my opinion. 14 turn cooldown, I believe with the expansion it'll probably go down again, but it will go ahead and change all slots to either quick or int, and of course she treats them as beneficial as a captain, but then also doubles your int and quick characters attack and slot effects for 2 turns. But if the crew's HP is above a certain amount when you launch the special, I believe it's above 50%, you do not get KO'd for 1 turn. Pretty good special, of course. You know, being above 50% is pretty easy for Komurasaki, so you're going to be getting that to activate relatively often. But overall, like, special and captain combined, it's just a good unit overall. And then as for her crewmate effects, boosting base stats by 50 and make quick slots beneficial to the crew, that's actually pretty good if you use her as a sub, meaning that if you use her special, you're guaranteed to get a full board of slots if you are using an int-based team. Unfortunately, if you are using quick characters, they're not going to make int slots beneficial, which I think as a crewmate, she should have just made quick and int beneficial to all of your characters, or just specifically to quick and int. That would have been a huge buff to this unit. But anyways, that is the breakdown of Komurasaki with her 6+ variation. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into some content with this brand new unit. Jumping into this video, of course, we're going to be going up against the 10-star difficulty Heavenly Demon 1. We're going to take on Enel, and of course, we're going to have the clip versus worst generation. Komurasaki is great, dude. Honestly, you guys will be seeing in a lot of this content in this video is going to be sped up, and it's just because we just are able to utilize Komurasaki's amazing captain ability to continuously hit our perfects to heal back a decent amount of HP, and then with her 20% damage reduction, we can just tank all the hits. It's actually incredible. Of course, you can't really take too many hits. It's going to be a bit of a thing, but you know, against some of these bosses here, we can literally just get through the content by slowly getting through it, continuously hitting perfects, healing back a decent amount of HP, and you know, with the 20% damage reduction, man, it's over. And of course, she heals 0.5 times her recovery every time you hit the perfect, and if you're running double Komurasaki, you're getting that multiplied by 2, so you're essentially getting a full times her recovery back, which is very high recovery. And then also the fact that you have access to the Liberal Hind ship that gives your crew an additional 1000 healing per turn on top of the additional 1000 healing per turn from your sockets. It ends up being very good. But specifically talking about this content right here, of course, against Doflamingo, you need 2 hits of despair removal, and typically you need 2 hits of paralysis removal. Now, in terms of the despair removal, we have Recruit Hawkins, and we also have the support of Kuma attached to Gecko Moria and Perona. Gecko Moria and Perona were actually a really good choice here because of the fact that their special ability removes paralysis, but it also reduces enemy defense and gives you a conditional boost against defense down. So it's perfect against the Rebecca stage. However, you guys would have seen that we actually didn't quite kill Rebecca. It was incredibly close. I don't have a lot of stat boosting supports. I typically don't want to run stat boosting supports if I can avoid it, because I like to just showcase, you know, these are the only effects that you'll need, and if I don't have any supports on it, it means you don't even need any supports, obviously. Whatever teams you run, you can have supports for stats, but I typically don't like to do that too often. In this instance here, if I did have a stat boosting support on my team, we would have been absolutely fine. We could have killed Rebecca without taking too much damage there, but despite that, and how much damage we did take on the Rebecca stage, you can already see we're already back at full health, so that's just the power of Komurasaki, of course. And for our paralysis removers, we have, as we said, Gecko, Moria, and Perona, but also access to Baccarat, and Baccarat was like the key unit I wanted to bring because the special ability does AoE damage, which enables us to kill the back guys surrounding the treble, and then we can just focus our damage out on treble himself. The good thing about Komurasaki as well is that her boosts actually go for 2 turns, so if you do need to take multiple turns on a particular stage, with Komurasaki special you can definitely do that. And again, if you add like custard support, for example, to lock those slots for multiple turns, that is also another thing you can do. Now that she is an int character, you can have access to that, or you can have access to the Megalo ship as well. One thing I do notice though is that Quick are lacking a very good ship. I think it would be nice if they did release another ship in the future, hopefully not too far along, where they just have a quick boosting ship, maybe quick and like a class or something. That would have been good. Or if a ship that kind of was like Nostra Castello but for quick and dex, something like that, because quick and dex don't really have that many good ships, so that would be a really nice addition, I feel, to those particular colors. But overall, Komurasaki with no problems with the Doflamingo number 1. Moving on now to the secondary Garb challenge, we have Eneru. Now, remember with Eneru, on the last stage, you're going to get hit with stun to your captains, and you're going to be special binded and hit with fear. So that's obviously annoying things to take into consideration. But of course, the Halloween characters from earlier this year are just so good. And I mean, Halloween, Mihawk, and Law, they have shown to have aged very, very well. I mean, when you think about it, this character came out like, what, 8-9 months ago at this point on Global? And this character, well, these 2 characters in particular, are still, like, so good, and they can be used in so much content. And, you know, despite the fact that a lot of characters released these days are boosting, you know, a color and 2 classes, and, you know, we see these int super types are only boosting their own color, which is a little bit bad. But, I mean, they're amazing. They're still so good. I mean, their inbuilt captain effects, talking about, like, you know, removing the despair with Law, removing the paralysis with Mihawk, but they're just usability to get multiple turns of huge attack and a huge orb boost are so good. Law and Mihawk also have relatively decent supports too, so they're very, very usable on an int team. And you know, if you are running an int variation versus the NL Garp challenge, typically running like a Law and Mihawk hybrid, or you know, double Mihawk with Law, or like double Law with Mihawk sub, but usually the hybrid works very, very well, and you typically do that instead of this. But you know, Komurasaki just showing like why she is so good. Also, the other debuff we have to take into consideration is the stun debuff on the final stage of the fight, and we're getting rid of that by having Sangoro from the Colosseum with the support of Quick Rare Recruit Pudding, which means that on the final boss stage, our health is subtracted by 20%, but it makes matching slots appear more often, I think, for a couple turns or a turn or something like that. So it's a really weird support, but it's mainly just the fact that the support will proc to cut your health by 20% after the enemy's preemptive attack. So because we get health cut done to us, it just removes the stun automatically. It's very, very usable, actually. And remember that the pudding support does attach to Reiju as well. It attaches to Reiju and Sanji characters only, and that's the thing, there really aren't many other supports in the game that actually reduce health. I think that might be the only one, if I remember correctly. There might be like maybe one other one that reduces HP, but you know, it's just such a rare thing. And honestly, I think it would be nice if there were more supports that did do HP cuts. You know, if even characters that try to be at low HP, like a super type Katakuri, for example, or a quick Whitebeard, you know, those characters don't really see that much play these days, but it would have been nice if there were more health cutting supports, just to add a little bit more uniqueness to these supports you can run on your teams. Whilst testing this team as well, I found that the stage 3 versus one of those guys, I can't remember his name from Skypiea, the one that applies the burn to you on the preemptive attack, I found that stage to be relatively difficult because, you know, Komurasaki, she wants to hit as many perfects as possible because she wants to try and get that recovery back. But obviously, if you're burnt, that's a bit of a hindrance. So I was trying to find ways around that, and, you know, if you do stall it out, you get hit with paralysis, and it's just annoying. But either way, we did get our way around it by having this Rare Recruit X Drake, and even though he was special binded on stage 2, we're able to use it before we actually die, and because of the amazing recovery mechanics that the Komurasaki has, we're able to get our health back relatively quickly. And of course, the Mihawk and the Law combination on stage 6, carrying their buffs into stage 7, is so good. You can even have the support of Tal Nami, for example, to get an additional 1.3 times color affinity. That would definitely be a huge benefit to the team as well, but not overly required. As long as you're getting rid of that stun and you have the 2 buffs from Mihawk and Law, typically that's going to be the only thing that you'll need in order to get through this particular fight. And now we can go ahead and have a look at the worst generation. This particular team was actually featured in the inter-team video that I made for the worst generation, but I just needed to showcase it again, and unfortunately I actually did delete the clip, so I couldn't actually reuse the same clip. So this is actually me recording it for a second time, further showing how good this team actually is. I did actually clear it on my first attempt as well. The only stage that really can cause an issue is this one here against Bonnie Apu and Capone Bedge, because you do have to hit your perfects while blinded in order to not take too much damage. But, you know, even if you do start taking a lot of hits, the good thing about it is that Komurasaki has that damage reduction, and especially against you Rogue, if you hit your perfects against you Rogue, I believe you can actually out heal the damage that he does to you, so you don't really have to worry about that. So long as you get a couple matching slots per turn, it shouldn't really be a big issue. But basically, after you're on the final turn of your Rogue, you just basically go crazy because of the orb locking that we'll have. We do have the support of Custard once again to give us the orb lock that we will require. Also, Doflamingo special is really good here because we're able to use Komurasaki to shuffle those slots to int or quick. Now, we do use Dofi special, which does shuffle non-matching slots, so, you know, realistically, if you get really bad luck and don't really get many matching slots, you can reset. I don't actually reset in this example here because Doflamingo will be blown away on the final boss stage anyway, so I didn't really think it would really matter that much, and it didn't. Another stage that also you will have to take into consideration is the Blackbeard stage, because against Blackbeard, we're not killing in one turn, we're taking our time to stall, and the main reason for that is because we want to kill that stage, but we want to move into the final stage when we're below 30% health. And the reason for it is because of the captain swap that Katakuri is going to be taking care of. When he gets switched into the captain spot, if we're below 30%, he's not only going to have his 5 times boost for his captain effect, but he gets access to his super typing, which can give him that guaranteed delay against the enemy, giving us the 2 times conditional boost. So on the final boss stage, we're going to have a 2 times conditional, a 2 times slot effect boost, a 2 times attack boost, and with the Colosseum page 1, with the crewmate effect of resisting blowaway, we can get a 3 times chain lock. It might be 3.25, it's something like that. But with all that damage output that we have, we are going to have no problems with clearing the final stage, and we are using the Nostra Castello because if we do use Liberal Hind, when Katakuri gets switched into the captain spot, he's not going to actually proc the effect of the ship, meaning we don't actually get an attack boost from the ship, and it's very important that we have that just to make sure we're doing as much damage as we possibly can. But that is going to wrap up this video today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
を恋をせ